Dear praying friends, I do hope you had a good start into the 100 days of prayer with the Global Prayer Call. This is now the second out of 15 weeks of prayer topics, 6 plus 6 plus 3. The week number 2, the headline for this week is Pray for Humility in the Church concerning the Jewish people. It's very important that we start our prayers and base our prayers on the right attitude. In Romans 11, you find the deepest truths and insights in the New Testament concerning Jewish-Christian relations. Insights that, I have to say, with sadness and remorse, in the majority of the church in the past 2000 years have been neglected. But as we turn around, as we focus on the New Testament, on Romans 11, we will read the following. We see that Paul is talking about the relationship between the Jewish remnant, that's verse 5 of Romans 11, and all Israel, that's verse 26 of Romans 11. He talks about the role of the global church to be an example of God's mercies and love towards the Jewish people. He talks about first bringing the fullness of the Gentiles into the kingdom before saving all Israel. And he talks about the danger of the church becoming arrogant against that part of the Jewish people which has not come to faith in Christ. We read that in Romans 11 in the verses 18 to 21, where Paul writes, "Do not consider yourself to be superior to those other branches. If you do consider this, you do not support the root, but the root supports you. You will then say, branches were broken off so that I could be grafted in. Granted. But they were broken off because of unbelief, and you stand by faith. So do not be arrogant, but tremble. For if God did not spare the natural branches, he will not spare you either." What a message to the Church of Jesus. As I said, mostly neglected. And now it's the time to turn around. And let these verses touch our hearts. In my understanding, I would say it's probably the greatest tragedy in church history that for centuries the Church of Jesus, especially in Europe, did not heed this warning of the Apostle Paul. The common teaching was that God had forever rejected the Jewish people, removing his love and calling from them because they had rejected Christ and the gospel. Therefore, at various times in history, the church rose up in arrogant pride against the Jewish people, and they were cruelly persecuted, and hundreds of thousands of Jews were killed here in Europe, especially in the last 1,000 years. Christian anti-Semitism was rampant in the church, and the Holocaust of World War II could not have happened without that atmosphere and that theology and that assumption in the broader church to pave the way for such a thing as the Holocaust. So for God, this is something of deep concern. The church will not, and indeed cannot, be the beautiful bride of Christ awaiting the return of her bridegroom Jesus unless we have repented, unless we have turned from our ways and moved from a spirit of reproach and arrogance towards the Jewish people toward a spirit of gratitude, humility, and love towards them. May God give us grace. May God help us all.